And take a sip.
All right. Okay, let me mute this. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we're good to go. I'll just double check with my team to make sure that this is all good, but it looks good here. Okay. Alrighty. So this is the first official WE-Solation episode, and Ariana is a good friend of mine, and she's going to help us out. Hello. And she's going to help us out with figuring out how to wash our hair with only water and no products. And then she's going to teach us how to curl our hair using rags without any heating or any curlers or anything like that. So Ariana, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Ariana. I'm from Cleveland, and I started Water Only 6 years ago now, almost to the day. I was living in Paris, and the water was so hard, and I had been washing my hair with baking soda and vinegar for over a year, and it just destroyed my hair along with the hard water. So I was so frustrated one day. I just stopped using everything, stopped using all products, and now 6 years later, my hair completely transformed. And I just liked it so much, I just stuck with it. So here we are. Am I missing anything?
Where can people find you? Online?
Yes, so I used to blog at paristogo.com. It's still up. I don't blog there anymore, but you can still look at like my whole Water Only journey, and everything I know about Water Only is on there if you need a quick reference. And I'm also Ariana __ Lorelei on Instagram. I'm mostly active in stories on Instagram. So that's where you can find me.
Which are super funny.
Thanks. They're super dark. Like somebody asked me how I developed my humor, and I was like, I don't think I'm funny. I think I just like have dead eyes and a monotone voice, and it just hits that way.
Cheers. These are our BFF mason jar glasses. Ariana and I met. Oh, I'm your eco friend, Sophie Robertson. I'm in Toronto. I do zero waste. Switch to speaker mode for the tutorial. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting not very good at being able to read. And hang on a second. Here we go. So I'm a zero waste speaker and consultant in Toronto, and so I do like workshops and speaking engagements and community events and stuff like that. And I met Ariana June of 2017 when a bunch of us had a meetup of like zero wasters. That none of us knew each other, I don't think, in person. We all knew each other online. And there were about 10 to 12 of us, and we got along amazingly well, all of us. And Ariana actually slept over at my house that night.
Yeah, you had never met me, and I was supposed to be somewhere else, and you opened your home.
Yeah, my daughter just happened to be at family with family that night, so I was like, yeah, I have an extra bed, come over. So we became pretty quick, fast friends, I guess they say. And yeah, it's been magical ever since.
It was. We walked around all night.
So,
Like 3
yeah, exactly. It was so much fun. So if you haven't done a meetup and whatever your passion is, whether it be zero waste or environmentalism or knitting or whatever it is, I highly recommend reaching out to communities that are interested in the same things and meeting up in person. It's kind of been life changing for me, so highly recommend it.
Me too.
Okay, so I guess so how do you do the water only? And did you learn from a bunch of other people, or how did you?
So I started reading up on it, and I read Just Primal Things had done a blog on it, and Kanel Strand, Kanel Strand, she had done like really detailed, well-researched posts on the pH of hair and how baking soda and apple cider vinegar didn't work on it. That was the really popular shampoo alternative at the time.
Okay.
So the first time I did it, I was just like, oh, I can't use this anymore. And I just did water. And then I started researching it. So I was like, okay, is this actually something viable? Is this actually something I can do? So there wasn't that much written on it at the time. And there wasn't anybody with my hair type. So I did have to adapt the principles to my own hair type. There was there's a live journal community, there's a Reddit community for like no shampoo. So they use a variety of methods, but some used water only. So the big like principles, so to speak, were to massage your scalp, not with your fingernails, but with your fingertip pads. Do that with your hair dry. It's kind of like dry brushing, but for your scalp, just with your fingers. And to do that as many times as possible in the beginning, because your hair is getting used to not having silicone, not having like detergents like shampoo, taking away the natural oil. So you have to work it through your hair mechanically. Oil and water don't mix that well, so it's really good to have a nice like dry massage prior to washing your hair. Once you go through the transition period, it's easy. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. But in the beginning, they recommend, it's called like scritching and preening. So you would massage your hair. It's haunted.
Okay. Excuse me, I'm in the bathroom and we only have one bathroom.
Okay.
I did try to warn everyone before. Okay, one moment.
This is live TV. This is
okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So you would massage your scalp like this. Usually they recommend doing it upside down.
Okay.
That like I'm not really sure why they say it boosts circulation. I haven't looked into the science on that, so don't quote me. But upside down, it will make your hair more voluminous if you do that. So there is something to that. So yeah, you would basically massage with your fingertips, and then you pull the oils down your hair shaft. It's the same way. You could do the same thing with a boar bristle brush or an agave brush if you're vegan.
Let me try.
Yes, scritching.
So I'm like using my the pads and not the tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
my hair is wet right now, so that's probably not ideal. But just for demonstration purposes.
But do you feel like, well, because your hair is clean, do you feel like the oils, and then you can just like drag it down the hair shaft as much as possible? The goal is to drag your natural sebum down all the way to the ends. Once your hair is coated, you'll never need conditioner again.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Oh, so do you also brush?
I used to brush. I have not. This is like, I used to do brushing kind of a lot, not with a boar bristle brush, but with a wooden pin brush. Just because I lived in France, just to get like the pollution and remove like dirt and oils out of my hair was really helpful. A lot of people will use like a fine tooth comb to get like dirt and debris out of their hair mechanically. The idea is to remove it mechanically, not with the help of additional detergent.
Okay.
So you can really do that. If you have curly hair though, which I do, it's better to just use your fingers and try and avoid brushing if possible. I do think curly haired people are a good candidate for this because we lack a lot of natural moisture. So it can be drying if you like wash your hair too often, but I think for curly haired people, they're some of the best candidates for water only, even if they can't brush.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I was going to ask about that and also for the curling part, but I'll ask that when we get to it. But so
Yeah.
in your experience and research, you found that all different types of hair seem to be like okay with it. I mean, obviously everyone's different, but you've seen kind of a wide range of different hair types that have been fine with it.
Yes, like my ex, he had really fine curly hair. It was awesome for him. His hair like got thicker. It was growing faster. Every time somebody does water only and sticks with it, they always write me like their hair starts growing like crazy. Like baby hairs everywhere. You'll see often in my videos, I have baby hair sticking up all the time because my hair is like constantly growing.
Okay.
That was one of the things. My hair had stopped growing for like a year before I started this,
Oh,
and then as I started water only, it was growing again. Yeah, I had like really short hair when I started this, and it grew to this, and it just no matter how many times I cut it, it'll just grow back in a month or two. So that's one of the advantages is that your hair will grow pretty fast. But yeah, I've seen people with fine hair, straight hair. You have to figure out what works for you though, because the frequency of wash, it's going to depend on your environment, on your lifestyle, and your genetics. It also depends on your diet. I do see a big difference if I drink alcohol in my hair or if I'm eating a lot of greasy or fatty foods, I do see a difference as opposed to when I'm eating like quality protein and just eating more clean foods.
right.
So I think the most important thing when you start this is like with your diet because you have to nourish your hair from the inside. Like eating the right things, eating a lot of healthy fats, you will see a difference in your hair.
Okay. And you're vegan and gluten free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and then yeah. And that's not something to feel bad about. Yeah, and you have celiac disease too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So since I was young, so yeah, and I've been vegan for a little longer than I've been water only. Um, but yeah, just like a lot of like beans, like good quality protein like beans will help a lot. Just like olive oil, things like that make a big difference. I don't People will try like topical things on their hair. I don't recommend that so much because hair's dead. It's just a quick fix. It's going to be temporary. You can always use like castor oil on your scalp. It's kind of hard to get out, but it does seem to. It's very nourishing and conditioning. As I said, water only can be quite drying. So you just have to like control the frequency of washes. Your hair doesn't get dried out too much. You can also use apple cider vinegar diluted in water as a conditioner if you find that it's too drying for you. And if you're an athlete or you work out a lot, just make sure you can always rinse your hair. Just don't scrub it as much because that's gonna take away the natural oils. Um, you with water only, you just scrub the same way you will what you would with shampoo. So if you're an athlete, I recommend like just rinsing after a sweaty workout or protecting your hair with a scarf or a headband or in a ponytail. You can refresh it with apple cider vinegar and water or lemon juice and water in a spray bottle. So yeah, you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, because like I did this a couple of years ago. I tried it. I did it for 2 months. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but it wasn't, I couldn't do it. It didn't like work out the way I was hoping. It was
Hmm.
kind of like it was like really heavy, like on like about halfway down, and then like more frizzy at the bottom. And my hair
Yeah.
is really straight and fine. So I mean, I'm kind of tempted to try it again. I was brushing at the time. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
the fingers, the massaging as much. But I did feel like there was like that like thick kind of like film Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's the oils from my scalp, yes?
Yeah, it's like it's waxy. It does
Yeah,
dissipate after the transition period, but until then, it's hard. Your hair will just feel heavy for a while.
yeah,
And the transition period can last up to 3 months for some people. So
right.
some people don't go through it at all, but other people, it is hard. It does go away, but
Mhm.
it's tough to get like through the social stigma. So now,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people now that social stigma is gone. You know,
Mhm.
you're just in your house, so I think
Yeah,
a lot of
true.
people will have a better time trying it now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And what was the transition stage for you?
So because I had messed up my hair before with baking soda and vinegar, I didn't really
Yeah.
notice a transition period. My hair just kept improving. I did have that waxy buildup, and I would just work through it like with a brush and with the scritching and the massage. And I scrubbed super
Okay.
hard. Just you just scrub and scrub because you have to use more elbow grease. Shampoo is a surfactant, so without that lather and everything, it's not as easy to scrub. So you have to do that mechanically. So you have to like scrub twice as hard. So I just kept doing it and doing it. I had really hard water, so I used distilled water or a filter. That helped a lot, especially at breaking up.
Okay.
I find that waxy buildup. Some people, it's like deposits from minerals in their water. So I found that using distilled or filter water helped a lot. And once I went past once my hair was like covered in
So what happens?
um, yeah, I could use hard water no problem. Still to this day, I can use hard water and nothing will happen.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Hmm.
Everything okay?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it just me? I'm just waiting for Sophie, so I'm just drinking some kombucha in the meantime. I'll just wait until Sophie comes back on or until I get further instructions. Oh, okay. Are you chat about whatever for now? I'm sorry. I'm just like silent. I didn't realize it was still on. Okay, so we were talking about like after the transition period. Yeah, so getting through it is tough. Some people will use like kale and clay, or they'll use they can use like gram flour or something like that. I do recommend before you start to use like a clarifying shampoo to get all the product and everything out. If you don't have clarifying shampoo, don't go out and buy it. You can use like Dr. Bronner's or like just a residue-free soap, like a clear soap. You can use natural things like an egg. Just don't rinse it with warm water. Rinse it with cold water instead. For super curly hair, I would recommend just using the scalp massage and the scritching technique where you are just like dragging it through your hair. You'll have to rely on scalp massage the most. You can use like a pick or something. You kind of like have to shake out the dirt and debris in your hair so as not to disrupt your natural curl pattern. A lot of people have been sending me since they've been trying water only while they're in isolation or under quarantine. Their curls spring up a lot more. So I think that's a really good, recommendation if you have like curly or natural hair. There are a lot of forums like the Lives Journal. No Poo is just a wealth of information on options for natural hair. I would say because it's so it can be so drying for natural hair, you may want to hey.
Sorry, I lost connection, of
Okay.
course.
I'm sorry I was silent for so long. I was like, am I still on? And then I saw the message and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just like here.
Good thing you didn't start picking your nose.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then I got the messages and I was like, oh.
Just by yourself.
But I would recommend for natural hair using some oils. Like usually I say try not to use anything in your hair except water if possible. Like try not to use dry shampoo. You can use like arrowroot or cocoa powder, but if you can avoid it, your hair will transition faster. The less you mess with it, the better the transition will be.
Okay.
But for natural hair, I would say use some oil, like use some, how's it pronounced? Jojoba, or like coconut oil or olive oil, whatever you have on hand. I use olive oil in my hair. I'm like not really picky about the oil that I use in my hair. It's just like whatever I have.
Okay.
It comes out in the wash. So sometimes like before I go into an ocean, I'll put oil in my hair. Doesn't matter if it's olive oil or coconut or whatever. I just use whatever I have and then it comes out better. Yeah. Afterwards.
From the salt from drying, yeah.
Yeah, I actually love, after a swim in the ocean, I love my curl pattern after that.
Sorry, what happens after the ocean?
After I swim in the ocean, I love my curl pattern after that. That's really like the only styling product I've used is like salt spray in the past 6 years. I just love it.
That tasseled look.
Yes, yeah.
So there is a question about why is cold water better than warm?
So that's actually a myth. Like, so your hair will be shiny. The idea is that your hair cuticle opens. The last I checked, it's been a long time since I researched it. That's actually not a thing. I thought that too, that you rinse your hair with cold water to seal it. But I've been doing it with warm water in the wintertime, and it's just as shiny. So I haven't really seen a difference. I did research it. The idea is that your hair is shinier with cold water, but you can still get shine with warm water too. So whatever, you don't have to like torture yourself with like an ice water thing. It might be like very stimulating and like very energizing. Martha Stewart always does like a cold water rinse with her hair in the mornings, but I don't think it's necessary. The last I checked, and I'll check on it and I'll like post a comment or something once I check, but I'm pretty sure the cuticle doesn't actually open and close, which was the theory behind using hot or cold water.
Okay. And so, someone asked also, how often do you cut your hair, and tips on trimming?
So not that often. Sometimes, so my last few haircuts have been out of necessity because I got rollers stuck in my hair. We had to cut a chunk out. And my last one was in January, and then my last one before that was in August. I typically, I would only go to my old hairdresser in the city I used to live in, so I would wait until I got to that city for a haircut.
Okay.
It's just my personal preference, but like, yeah, like trimming. I trim at home, just like with. This is terrible. Every hairdresser will be so mad at me. Sometimes I'll trim like with the razor blade or something like that if my ends get to be too crazy. But yeah, I would say, because somebody had asked me before, like, the only solution is split ends. Like, you can't really put anything on them topically to heal them. They're there. So you do have to trim them. But I don't really stay on top of it. I like the long, like, wild look. So I think it's really a personal preference how often. I don't think water only changes the hair cutting situation. The only thing is, when you're water only, stylists obviously want to shampoo your hair. So I would recommend just if you tell them not to put anything in your hair, they will respect it. And a lot of hairdressers have told me they're so used to people with allergies, they're used to it now. Or wash your hair at home and then go in and ask them for a dry cut or a dry style. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. My poor hairstylist, when I was trying out the water only, I went in at like not a good period in time while I was trying all of this, and I had done the apple cider vinegar thing, but it was like kind of stuck to it still smelled, because I use apple cider vinegar now, so I wash my hair once a week with shampoo, and then I use the apple cider vinegar rinse as a conditioner, and now I love it. I hated it before because I was like, I still smell it. It's terrible, but it was I think because I had so much built up, so much wax, it just wasn't leaving. It was just like hanging on to it. When I went into her, I was like, I'm sorry, I think I smell like a salad. I'm sorry.
Well, my hairstylist was really skeptical too, and she became a believer afterwards, because like I was just, you have to be really stubborn. I was just like, at first I was like apologetic, but I stuck with it, and then she was like, I just see the chunk of hair that I had to cut out because of the roller. She was like, I can't believe how fast your hair grew. She was like, she saw the difference in my hair and how much healthier it was. And then she was like, okay, I'm not going to question this anymore. So just
that's
stick
cool.
to your guns. Yeah. And it'll be okay.
Yeah. And my hairstylist was, I mean, she's lovely and she's so nice, and she wasn't like weirded out or anything. I was just like, I felt bad for her because it was like my head right up in her face. But she has said that my hair, ever since I've been washing it only once a week, that it seems to be a lot stronger and healthier.
Hair's like a sweater. Hair's like a sweater. We have to like treat it gently. Like it has to be like
true.
All right, let's see these strips.
Okay, so strips. I cut my daughter's leggings into strips because they were tattered. So I cut a bunch. She said about 6 to 8 strips of like 8 to 23. Now you said you were very specific. It's at 8 to 23 centimeters. Is that because the length of your hair, or?
That's how you get like the Victoria's Secret type curls. But you can be you can do that. Like, I think that works for most hair types. You can, the bigger the strip, the bigger the curl, the smaller the strip, the smaller the curls. With the smaller strips, the results are less forgiving, however. Because they last for a long time. Like, even if you have really stubborn hair, if you do the rag curls with smaller strips and you like mess up on one, you're stuck. It's hard.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, it is like, so it's just based on like what the popular trends are today, but
Yeah.
you can, it's customizable. You can modify it to whatever your preference is.
Okay. And so I guess if anyone's doing it along, I guess you can like just like wet your hair or spray your hair. Just use an old spray bottle and wet your hair. And then right. So is that right? Yeah. So you just like dampen it.
You can start with wet hair. Yeah, you can start with wet hair, but if you're starting with dry, you can do it with dry hair and leave it overnight, but it is better if you just dampen it a little bit. So just spritz. I am really hoping that this is the actual water bottle and not my vinegar bleach bottle, but we will see.
Wait, do you not have them labeled?
No, I don't label them. I don't like them. I like the minimalist look that much. I commit. And it's caused problems in the past, and I'm still doing it. Oh, it's water. It's water. We're good, guys.
I like that you sprayed it on your hair first to test it. Not like smelling it.
I like to live life on the edge.
Woo!
This is life. Yeah.
I live vicariously through you. Okay, so I've got a strand.
Yeah, I would say like get like an inch of hair, like a inch to centimeters.
I don't know.
So you grab it by the ends.
Okay.
And take your strip, and you want to like loop the ends of your hair around the strip with your fingers like this.
Okay.
If everybody can see. Now you keep rolling it up. You roll it towards your face. Perfect.
Towards your face.
Yes. And again, you can do this wet. I like to do this with dry hair because I don't like to curl all of my hair. I like to keep like the top part smooth. So you can roll all the way to the top of your head.
Okay.
And then if you like that look, but yeah, if you just stop like halfway up, you'll have like a smooth crown, and then just curls at the bottom.
So is it okay that it's like widened here? Is that okay? Or should it go like, do you know what I mean? Like it kind of.
Okay. That's okay. As long as you can tie a knot with the rag strip.
Okay, so I have to tie a knot.
Yeah, that'll actually be a really beautiful curl. It'll be like a really like barrel curl when it's widened like that. If you don't want like a if you don't want like a sausage curl, then make sure it's like thin. It like it's not wide around the strip. Just like
okay.
So it's adjustable. That's like whether you want barrel curls or not, or like more like mermaid type waves. You can adjust.
Wait, how do you get the mermaid wave? Wait, what?
It's when it's thinner. When it's thinner, it's more like the mermaid type, like crimpy, that kind of thing.
I like
and then when you do the wide, it's more like the Cindy Crawford in the George Michael videos, that barrel type curl.
Super sexy.
Yeah. That's more like Victoria's Secret. What you did is more like the Victoria's Secret.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll try and rock it. We'll see.
So for most people, 6 to 8.
Okay.
For most people, 6 to 8 strips are good. I like to divide my hair into like 4 sections because I like really big curls. But 6 to 8 strips will give you like a nice variety of waves. But it depends on how much hair you have.
So towards you, loop. I gotta say, I'm kind of loving this right now.
It's like soothing. It's like a meditative type thing. It's kind of like concentrating. Yeah. So you see how I'm like keeping it thin around the.
Yeah, I see. I'm getting the hang of it, I think. I feel like.
I like how you.
Oh, how to get. Okay. There we go. How do you get it to like, it seems to want to like, like buckle here. Like it wants to escape. Okay.
So maybe wrap less hair with yeah.
Okay. We shall see.
Perfect.
I will post some after
pictures.
shots. I feel like my hair is going to take more than 6 though. But you have tons of hair, so
I'm wrapping like really thick sections though. And actually I want to show a pin curl just in case for somebody. So I'll leave this. Pin curls do not work for me, but just for people who want to do that without rag strips. If you want like tighter curls, pin curls are the way to go.
I
And
have
pin curls,
done that. I
oh,
did that. I did that for a couple of holiday parties, and it actually worked really well. You're talking about like when you roll it and then pin it on your head, right?
Mm-hmm. That's like the most glamorous. I feel like that's the longest lasting.
Mm-hmm.
But I like a little bit of a softer curl, and then my hair also. It's just like, because I like to do it overnight because I'm lazy. I don't like to like sleep with bobby pins in my hair so much.
Yeah, well, to be honest, like this is way more. I this would be much more comfortable to sleep with, obviously.
Yeah.
Pins in your head.
And like all these brands sell these like rollers that you can sleep in. You could just buy rags. It's just like it's a scam.
Yeah, just take that thing that you haven't in your mending pile that you might not ever get to and cut it into strips, and you're still using it. So that's good. Because that's basically what I did with this, because I had this pair of leggings of Nyla's in my mending pile for ages. It had a big hole in it, but it literally doesn't, they don't fit her anymore. When she saw me cut them, she was like, what? Why did you do that to my leggings? I'm like, well, they don't actually fit you. She's like, I love them. I'm like, well, they're mommy's now.
They look cute. And you can, like, if you want that classic roller look, like the vintage, you can roll all the way to the top of your head and knot them there. I'm doing
like,
the pink.
Okay, so when I see how this is happening, is that okay? I feel like that's not
okay.
Okay, the fact that it's like kind of buckling.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Okay.
Mine does that. Mine has that.
You know whose hair who had great hair too is Tamar.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, she uses the rollers and I love it. I don't use like a rolling pin or anything like that. I just like part my hair in the center. Oh, that's important. I forgot to say, when you do this, part your hair where you would want to part it. I know that there are rolling patterns online. I think that's what Tamar uses, where you can like roll like the front, like how they used to do it in the 40s and the 50s. I've tried that and it looks really cool, but I like a looser, more. Yeah. I don't know. I like it this way.
Well, it just depends on your style, what you're going for, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a question about explain again one more time about the curls. Do you start on the upside or downside?
So you start like this. I think it's the upside. You roll it like, you see how I'm rolling around I'm sorry, it's my middle finger. I'm so sorry. You roll it like towards you like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Like so I put the fabric on top and then roll
it up. Yeah.
Roll it up towards the rest of your hair.
Yes.
Okay. And then keep rolling upwards.
Correct. And it's the same thing with bobby pins, but you do it with your finger instead of, and this is why I don't do this, because my hair just like pops up, but okay.
You have to probably have, you have big bobby pins.
Yes. Okay. Otherwise they pop out, so. Glamorous. What band? I feel like, what hair band did this? Like actually like wore rags in their hair.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it was Corn. Maybe I'm thinking they're not a hair band.
Maybe they did have some funky hair. Or like maybe like George Funk and the P Funk All Star.
Yeah.
I feel like he might have done that. Cool. Well, this is exciting. Okay, so I guess everyone who is trying this out or will try it out, post a picture and tag WE-Solation Nation, hashtag WE-Solation Nation, and then we'll pick one winner for every episode that we have, and we'll send you a personalized note, and you'll get some seed paper notes, personalized notes, and you'll get one to send to your friend as well. So thanks so much, Ariana. That was really fun having me. Yeah, I'm gonna take a picture and post my after shot.
Yeah, with your like shit.
Feeling very glamorous. Yeah, so thanks. I will, this will be posted on YouTube and, well, like afterwards, not just live. And yeah, I'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me. Bye. Have a good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Bye.
Happy hour. Bye.